2nd of November 2019. Hello everybody. If somebody don't know me yet, my name is Sergey Baklykov, and now I came to Цветочная Street, building 16. This is Saint Petersburg, Russia, where in this 2 stories Stalinist architecture historical building, on the 2 floors of this located the museum, private museum, which is called Grand Maquette, Russia. The biggest maquette means like a scale model in Russia. That's a scale model of our country. Here is parking. Well, today it's Saturday, completely busy. However, not that busy in usual days. It's not free, but not that expensive. And also here is a free storage for carriage for kids. Let's get inside. Right next to the entrance here is clock room and cashier, including the machines where you can pay for your tickets just yourself. Since 14 years, an adult ticket 540 rubles, which is about $8, and for kids it's 320 rubles, which is almost $5. There's cafe and the museum located on the 2nd floor. When we are getting to the 2nd floor, we appear right in the middle of Exposition, which is pretty huge. The Exposition is on an area of 800 square meters, 400 square meters here and 400 square meters there. There's the western regions of Russia, there's eastern regions. Here is the guys, the real dispatchers. They control all the traffic, you know, the trains, buses. Here is 2,500 railways and about 2,700 train units. And that's here where we are now. They made a scale model of this museum. You know, this 2-story Stalinist architecture building, constructed in 1953. Grand Maquette, Russia. Nowadays, this is the museum with the biggest scale model of Russia and in Russia. As I said, it is occupied the area of 800 square meters in a scale of 1:87. But here is one important thing you have to know about this exposition before you will start watching. Most of the models here are the real scale copies of the real objects, but this is not the exact scale models of the cities and towns of Russia. So the way an object is located relative to each other is not real. This is more like a collective image of Russia. The real scale models, but they are located close to each other and not the way they are located to each other in real. The idea is to give you a real imagination about the general collective image of Russia instead of, you know, to show the real scale models of the cities and locations. Or they would need not 800 but maybe 8,000 square meters, you know, to show like a scale model of Russia. The main thing, all these models really depicts characteral to certain regions things, and you can see the landscape, architecture and industries. Let's say in Urals there is a steel production, in Murmansk at northwest there is a military submarines and seaports, and you can see this. Okay, you got the disclaimer, I think. I found it's important to say about this because I already heard like several comments here from people, like the objects located wrong to each other, but they just never got an idea, never even read, you know, something like a prospect or so. Over 100 specialists for about 5 years worked on creation of these maquettes. They were making this by parts. Sometimes it was taking up to 1 month for a group of specialists to make 1 square meter of this museum. Well, seems like another complicated thing was to make all the traffic, because for moving elements like all those buses, trains and the cars, they were need to create the microchips to control it and upgrade it all the time. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to coordinate all those cars, buses, trains, yet they made it even more interesting with not just moving but stops on the traffic lights. And so the power supply for moving elements provided under the floor, and they are completely autonomous. Back in the days, it was the first case when such a way of power supply was used. Official opening was in June 2012, so the museum works already for 7 years and upgrades all the time. Not only the scale models and traffic is here, but also many little scenes which are demonstrating the episodes of real Russian life, like industries, work, leisure, sports, education, military service, gardening, travel, mass events, and even a prison break. In order to provide the maintenance of all of these constructions, here are about 130 camouflaged hitches, which let the specialists to get an access to any parts of this grand model at any time. Grand Maquette Russia represents the main regions of Russia, like Capital Region, Northwest Region, Kaliningrad, Urals, Siberia, Taiga Region, Caspian Region, south of Russia, and far east of the country. For more information and better observation, you can rent binocular and zoom the objects, and audio guide, which is available in many languages. There is only one scale model museum in the world which is bigger than Grand Maquette. It's Miniature Wonderland in Hamburg, Germany. About 500,000 LED lights of different colors gives an equal lighting without shadows. Also, thankful to such a lighting system, every 13 minutes happens the change of day to night. 500,000 LED lights provide a slow change of the daylight to twilight and night. In moments when the night comes, a lot of lights in the streets and buildings turns on. Okay, now let me just leave you alone with my shootings. The videos, films on wide angle and zoom lenses to give you a variety of pictures to make it more pleasant for you, for your eyes to enjoy. Thank you for watching.
Классно. Что вы обошли? Вот только эту часть? Мы все обошли. Мы уже уходим играть. Буду. А вот это...
Категорически недопустимо. Для углубленного восприятия экспозиции на первом этаже организован прокат аудио. Уважаемые гости, в нашем музее
Успокойся.
Зачем ты так делаешь?
Нажимать.
Нажимать. Да, натурально. Миш.
О, сейчас столкнутся.
А, с той стороны.
Не могу я позвонить.
If you want to know the history of Russia, if you want to find out how it looks like to get the collective image of the country from Vladivostok to Kaliningrad, then definitely it's a must-visit place. The only thing I better recommend maybe to come not on a weekend. Hope you enjoy it. Comment, like, subscribe.